Hi, today on Israeli Salad, we'll join a group visiting Israel with a specific goal, helping people in need. We'll take a look at two stories from the Nefesh B'Nefesh winter flight and join David Miller on his visit to the Lower Galilee town of Kfar Tavor. So let's begin. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. In the past year, more and more groups have been coming to visit Israel. We learn in the Talmud that Rabbi Yochanan says, whoever takes 4 steps in the land of Israel will merit the world to come. So many tourists have been fulfilling this lately. The group we'll now see is not only taking steps in the land, but also fulfilling many mitzvot, precepts, by helping people in Israel. Almost every group that comes to visit Israel pays a few visits to the local tourist shops. The group I joined came with a very unique intention to a very unique shop.
So, do you see anything here that you think would be good for Tzfat?
Well, we want to buy something for someone who would be comfortable wearing it. So, what would be good for, say, a young religious girl?
Well, we want to get something warm. Yeah, this is bright. This is a nice Shabbos outfit. It's nice. It looks warm. It's very comfortable. It's very reasonably priced. It's 35 shekels.
That's great. So why don't I then take this one, and then you look for another, okay?
We can buy that
That's
one.
Great.
The group, composed of tourists from the U.S., visited Beit Frankfurter, the Jerusalem Center for the Aged. At Beit Frankfurter, senior citizens participate in many workshops, and many of their works are sold in the center's store.
This is a non-profit store, and all the money goes back into making the articles which you see here. It's important for us that the elderly are occupied. They receive a small amount of money for the work they do, and that is what encourages them to come and keep working at their craft.
So that's what the store is about. But for who is the group shopping?
Apparently, they seem to have bought the stuff to distribute it to people in need in Tzfat, which is a double mitzvah.
We're supporting the elderly who make these at Beit Frankfurter because it's a center for the elderly, and we're going to bring them to Tzfat for the children. We each get a limit to spend, and we give them away.
So what do you think the kids in Tzfat would like?
This as a set.
What do you think, the blue sweater or the yellow sweater?
Yellow.
Yellow? But we get to get matching blankets then.
Okay.
Here we go. We'll get this one.
Well, I'm very pleased to be part of it, supporting the elderly and by donating the clothing to needy children.
The tour, titled Tikkun Olam, World Repair, was organized by Louis Berlin. This was Louis's second tour. His first Tikkun Olam visit was with his daughter on her bat mitzvah.
So when my youngest became of the age of bar and bat mitzvah, we decided to go to Israel and find out who needed help. So we got on a plane, we came here, and we started asking who needs help. And we went around finding people, providing tzedakah, working with people, and trying to figure out how to promote things.
It's not only helped me, but it's helped other people. Now it's like it's a sequel, except it's not only me and my dad, it's our whole family.
I think the major goal here is to teach children to become philanthropic, and so one of the reasons we're doing it is by bringing our children here with us to show them by example how they can spend time and their money to help others in a very important way.
There is much tzedakah, charity deeds, that can be done outside of Israel, but Louis and his group feel that there's a special value coming to Israel to help those in need.
We're always delighted to meet groups, but this group seems to have a special feeling to Israel and searching for something to do for people here in Israel.
Israel is the main focus of our tzedakah efforts.
There's a huge gap between the way Jews live their life in America and the way Jews live their life in Israel. Everything comes together here in Israel because the 3 pillars of Judaism are the people of Israel, Am Yisrael, the land of Israel, Arutz Yisrael, and Torah Yisrael, the law of Israel. And now, for the first time in 2,000 years, we have a place where we have political power and we can do Jewish and control what goes on and act out all of our Jewish values, the Jewish values of Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam is repairing the world, and that's essentially the responsibility of an adult Jew. It's to partner with Hashem in making the world a better place.
In addition to the Tikkun Olam tour, Louis has initiated a number of activities in his own congregation and on the internet, activities benefiting people in need.
One of the things that we started a while back with our children is when they have a bar bat mitzvah, we ask guests not to give gifts, but to give a donation to an endowment fund that we set up through the local federation. And this way the child comes out of the party being a philanthropist. They have their own endowment fund.
My friends, they understand what I'm doing, and they think it's a really great idea, and they try to help. And some people are having bat mitzvahs where they'll ask for donations, and they'll do what I did.
So I set up a website, so you can go onto the website, www.lamedvavnik.org, make a donation. In the meantime, I have collectors collect poor souls who need help, and they all have checkbooks on the bank account, and they write checks out to feed people. And we're trying to make this connection between the American Jews and the Israeli Jews supporting each other and celebrating together.
Much effort is exerted by Louis to save money and reduce expenses, saving money in order to spend the money on other people.
A lot of people like to get kippot made up, and they get the silk kippot and they spend a lot of money on it. What Sarah and I did is we took a kippah from the kotel and we photocopied it. And on the back side we have a picture of a freezer. Why a freezer? Because we took the money we would have used to get silk kippot and we bought a freezer for a soup kitchen in Or Akiva, so they could accept donations of frozen food and give the people frozen food to take home. Normally around the high holidays, a lot of money is spent on greeting cards. We like to send each other greeting cards and wish each other good wishes. So together with my daughters for the past 4 years, we've been doing a Shana Tova card. And everybody who sends money, we put their name on the inside of the card, and then one card goes out to everyone in the synagogue instead of individual cards. And on the back of the card, we explain what we're doing. And this year we did mitzvah shoes. What are mitzvah shoes? Is we're buying shoes for people in Israel who cannot afford to buy shoes of their own, because there are a lot of people like that. This year we raised $8,000 from 2 synagogues for this.
After sitting to read selected Jewish writings, the Tikkun Olam group continued on their tour, leaving behind an emptier but happier shop, and now looking forward to their visit in Tzfat.
This has been a really great day for us. We don't usually have such a big crowd in one go, but it's really good for the store, and it's good for the morale of the ladies who make the stuff.
So these were tourists. Now let's see some immigrants. A plane load carrying 201 Jewish immigrants from North America touched down in Israel, bringing the number of immigrants from the continent this year to over 2,800, the most since 1983. The flight was the first winter flight of new immigrants organized by Nefesh B'Nefesh, an organization that has been removing or minimizing the financial, professional, logistical, and social obstacles that potential immigrants face. We've been covering a few Nefesh B'Nefesh flights, so this time let's focus on 2 stories for the latest flight. The average age of this year's North American immigrant is 33. So, in addition to Yocheved Chaya Goldman, a 10-week-old baby who made Aliyah, immigrated to Israel, these 2 sisters were a bit far from the average age. 97-year-old Irma Haas and her sister, 94-year-old Hilda Meyer, have survived the Holocaust and have now decided to open a new page in their lives here in Israel. Bruchim Habayim, welcome. Another new immigrant who will really be starting a very new page in his life in Israel is Kenny, who arrived from New York. Welcoming Kenny at the airport was his girlfriend, who was holding an interesting welcome sign. After descending from the plane, Kenny replied to the "Will you marry me" sign by saying, "Yes!" So Mazel Tov Kenny and his fiancée, and again to Kenny and to all the new immigrants, Bruchim Habayim, welcome to Israel. We'll be right back with honey, silk, and marzipan.
Be sure to visit the Israeli Salad website. On the Israeli Salad site, scroll through all the editions, see what topics were presented on each program, and simply click on the icon to watch your favorite program. Also, watch all our fantastic music videos featured right here on Israeli Salad. So be sure to click on www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm. That's www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm.
And now David Miller takes us up north, where honey, silk, and marzipan is manufactured. Marzipan, by the way, is a paste made with ground almonds and sugar. This paste can be molded into almost any shape you want. Let's take a look.
Israel has always been known as the land of milk and honey. That is until now. Because today, and today only, I'm officially changing it to the land of silk and honey. Why, you ask? Because, well, frankly, I'm the reporter here. When you're the reporter, you can call it what you want. So, off I went to the Lower Galilee, to a little place in the shadows of beautiful Mount Tabor called Shtemot Devorah. Greeted by some rather unusual creatures on arrival, it is just a brief diversion because just inside and up the road a bit, sweet things await you. Here, the Peled family has farmed the land for 5 generations. Today, they've created a whole new way of survival.
14 years ago, the agriculture was collapsing in Israel, and we were just raising chickens and raising bees, but it was not enough. And then one day I got up in the morning and just like that decided, let's take our professions. My husband is a beekeeper and I'm an art teacher. Let's show people what we are doing. I'm making silk, you're making honey, let's show it to people.
So then I saw an opportunity to worm my way into a whole new world, a world of silk. Malka, how does one make silk?
I'm taking the cocoons which were boiled for 20 minutes. Before boiling they are looking like that. They are very hard and it is impossible to open it. But if you want to take the fibers out, we have to boil them in water. After 20 minutes, they are looking like that. And then, if I'm taking one of them in my hands, I can open all the fibers of it, 1,000 meters of fibers in each of them. One of the strongest fibers in the world.
As you peruse the store for various silk and honey goodies, your senses are on full alert because the tastes are delicious and the silk is, well, it's silky. So much so that I can hardly bear it. The trend of agritourism has taken root in these parts, and so off I went to seek new examples of this trend. This must be a lecture of some kind. Quantum physics, perhaps? History, maybe? Nope. This is the Marzipan Museum. In a country that has more museums per capita than any other in the world, it would stand to reason that they should have such a place.
I give them a lecture about the history of the marzipan, geographically about the marzipan, and of course even from the Bible, since Jacob, we started the marzipan, the almonds and the rest.
We have visitors, children who come who want to play with the marzipan in the marzipan workshop. We have pensioners who come who want to taste it and also do make marzipans themselves. We have also buses of school children who learn about the almond tree, especially at Tu B'Shvat.
It's no accident that the Marzipan Museum is located here. Some of the finest almonds in the world are grown right here in the shadow of Mount Tabor. Once harvested, the nuts are ground into a fine powder and added to a boiling hot sugar syrup. Once mixed, it's allowed to cool for about 2 days. The tasty paste is then ready to eat, or in this case, ready to sculpt into an amazing array of items. Here is our head of state. And here I found a few kings. This one took a lot of labor. And these guys must be seasoned politicians too. This was the only marzipan that left a bad taste. So, if you find yourself in the Lower Galilee, make a wise decision and pay the Marzipan Museum a visit.
Now here's how you could contact the sites David visited. And now our weekly insight. Today we'll be discussing the Parsha of Va'era. Shalom to Rabbi Samson in Jerusalem.
Shalom Yoni. Shalom to all of our viewers around the world.
In the Parsha, Hashem tells Moses, "When you go back into Egypt, see that you do before Pharaoh all the wonders which I have put in your hand. But I will harden his heart, and he will not let the people go." Why does God do this? Why not let things go naturally? Why take away Pharaoh's free will?
Well, Yoni, you have just touched upon a very important question. It's a question that the Rambam discussed over 900 years ago. And he says that one of the punishments of God is that after a person decides to choose evil, that his free choice is taken away as a punishment. And that a person starts out, he can choose either good or evil, and that it's up to him. If a person chooses good, then God will actually help him in that direction, and he'll choose more good. However, if heaven forbid a person decides to choose evil, God will take his free will away from him and kind of push him over the hill. And you chose evil, evil is what you get. And then a person is kind of forced to choose more and more evil and enter this vicious cycle.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Samson.
The Weekly Insight is brought to you in cooperation with Machon Meir, the largest Zionist institute in Israel, bringing people closer to Judaism.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
That's all for this week. I hope we all learned from the things we saw in today's program. So come for a visit, help people in need, make Aliyah, immigrate, and when you're here in Israel, make sure you tour the land and, of course, watch Israeli Salad. Join us again next week. Until then, from all of us here at Israel National News, Shalom.